All right, so today what we're going to do is talk about some basic ideas of angles, identifying some angles, etc. Then we're going to talk about measuring some angles later and how to measure them accurately and appropriately, etc. All right, we good to go? Then let's go. All right. All right, hopefully this is not the first time you've seen angles, but this lesson, what we're going to do is we're first going to start looking at what are called some common angles. So angles are found all over the place, and we're going to learn how to measure them, how to name them, and how to draw them. Okay? All right. I don't know what the bear is all about. But okay. So remember that an angle is simply the space between where two lines meet. Okay? So if you look at this particular example, here, this pointed area here, this area inside there, that is a measure of the angle. You can also see that this is an angle where he's got the two boards put together, right? Okay? Now there are all kinds of angles though, so don't just assume that all angles will look like those. So angles are measured in units which are called degrees, which has that little symbol that's the same as the symbol for temperature. You've probably seen that before, right? The little circle. Yeah. All right. Now, remember, but we're not talking about degrees temperature. We're talking about degrees for measurement. And the degrees for measurement come from the idea of a circle. If you take all the degrees of a circle and add them all up, okay, you would end up with 360 degrees. What that means is that if you divided this circle into tons of little baby triangles, right, all radiating out from the center, there would be 360 equal pieces. Okay? Yes?
Isn't it just the same as in triangles?
Yes, and you're going to see a measurement. Mm-hmm. Right, and you're going to see lots of references to the different shapes that we have. Okay, so think about it. A circle represents how many degrees? All the way around? 360. Okay, and angles are just pieces of that circle. So if you think about a circle drawn around this, all the way around the circle is 360. What we're measuring is from this point to this point, right? Okay, so we're measuring that angle as if it was the center of a circle, coming from the center of a circle. Okay? Now, a couple of things that you need, of terms that you need to be aware of when we're talking about these are the lines that make up the angle are called arms. More importantly, the little point that the angle makes is called the vertex. That's hugely important to you. And that angles are always measured in what kind of units? Degrees. Good? All right. So, arms. Where's the vertex? It's the point. Yep. And the angle inside is always measured in what kind of units? Degrees. Excellent. Okay. Right. Oops. I don't know what happened to it. There it is. Okay. So vertex is the point, arms, and the angle inside is measured in degrees. Okay? All right. So many times people think of right angles as corners. Right? Because if you think of where one wall meets another wall, it meets at a specific angle. That angle is 90 degrees. And if you look at this, what they do is, to indicate that it's 90 degrees, they either say it's 90 degrees or they draw this little box. A square is a collection of 90-degree angles. Okay? So anytime you have that little box in the corner, that means that you're dealing with what kind of angle? A 90-degree, or it's named a right angle. There you go. Good job. Okay? It's probably the most important angle that we're going to deal with. Yes?
If they're both going, why isn't it called a 100-degree angle?
Well, because if you do a quarter of a circle, remember, if it's a square like that, then that means it's a quarter of the circle, yeah? And if you do a quarter of a circle, divide 360 degrees into 4 equal pieces, and you get 90 degrees. So it's just based on the measurement of the angle. Okay? All right. If you have so this builder's square is a right angle. Right? That's why they call it a builder's square. Exactly, because you're trying to make square corners. Perfect. Okay? Another common angle that most people don't even think of as an angle is a straight line angle. So another one, so you should know a right angle, and you should also know what a straight line angle is. Now, a straight line angle is just a straight line. But if you think about it, if you take a straight line going through the center of a circle, that cuts it in half, right? And 360 degrees cut in half is how many degrees? 180 degrees, right? So a straight line makes 180 degrees. Now, if you had a line cutting a circle in half like that, just nothing that has anything to do with right now, but where have we looked at it before? It's called the what of a circle? Okay, it's called the what of a circle. Anybody remember? The diameter. There you go. Diameter is all the way across. Now, that's totally unrelated to what we're doing, but just as a review. Mm-hmm. Yep. It's straight. Yeah, that is it's just like its name. Mm-hmm. Yep, it's just called a straight angle. Mm-hmm. And sometimes they'll put straight line angle, but a straight angle would always mean a straight line too.
And then after 180 degrees, it's still obtuse. Or is there
Well, we'll look at them. Okay? Okay, so there are many examples of straight lines. Like here, a road line. The line in the middle of a road is usually a straight line, so that's a straight angle. Can you give me another straight angle? Can you see one out in the room? Give me an example. Right here?
Yeah.
The line that makes up this side, this corner, if you were going right up and down, right? The line against the board, the lines on the walls, all of those are just straight lines, which are just examples of straight angles. Good. Now, other angles are named according to their sizes. Catch up with me here. Okay? So, if you have 180 degrees, then it's always a straight line. So why do they call it doing a 180 here?
Because
You're gonna go halfway.
He started going one direction, and then turned around and it's going backwards, right? So he's turned along a straight line. Okay? All right. What sort of angle is shown below? Right angle. Excellent. What sort of angle is shown below? A straight line angle or just a straight, well, they call it straight line. I don't know why. Okay? So straight angle. A right angle is how many degrees? 90 degrees. Good. A straight angle is how many degrees? 180 degrees. Yeah. All right. So we're going to look at some other angles. Now, if you look at this angle is one that we've looked at before if it was measuring the inside, but I want you to pay a close attention to this little piece of a circle they've gotten there. That tells you that they don't want it measured on the inside. They want you to measure it where? On the outside. And if you look at this is a right angle on the inside, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that means we have 90 degrees of it on the inside. Whoops, sorry. Which means that the outside is 270 degrees, right?
Is there a name for that kind of angle?
Mm-hmm. We'll see. Hold on. Stick with me for a minute. Okay? Now, you also probably know already and have heard that there are names for different types of angles, right? And there are two other angles we need to talk about. One of them is one when it's smaller than 90 degrees.
Moose
And
angle.
moose.
Moose angle.
What is it? Acute. And you're going to remember that because it's a cute little angle, right? So bad. Okay. Well, we'll get there in just a second. Now this one is bigger than 90 degrees. You may remember what that's called? It's called obtuse. There you go. Okay? And we'll get there. Okay? All right. Well, hold on a minute. We'll get there. Y'all were just asking me something. A full circle is made up of 360 degrees. Guys, come on. which is often called a revolution, based on the word revolve. If something revolves completely around it, that means it made a complete circle. So a revolution is a full circle. So where could you see an example of a full revolution? What do you think? Pardon me? The air? Oh, the earth. There you go. I'm sorry. I thought you said the air. I was some big thingy. All right. The earth, you bet. Okay? So it revolves in a circle, doesn't it? There you go. Good job. Okay. Air. Going deaf. Okay? So and if it goes a complete circle, it's called a revolution. Right? So, okay? Anything that can go completely around in a circle.
What was the one before called? Like when I was measuring the outside?
It didn't have well, we'll get to it. They haven't gotten to it yet. Okay? So we're going to watch a short video where we're going to be looking at some angles and some information about angles. So, here we go.
When two lines meet at a point, they form a corner. The mathematical word for corner is an angle. An angle measures how much you have to rotate one line to reach the other. We mark this angle with a little arc. Let's compare angles with distances. A distance measures the length of a line between two points. There are many different units for measuring distances. Meters, miles, light years. As with distances, there are several units for measuring angles. The most common are degrees and radians. We'll focus on degrees. There are 360 degrees in a circle. That little circle up above is the degree symbol. This means you have to rotate the line segment 360 degrees to make a complete revolution. If you rotate a line segment a half turn, you get a 180-degree angle. This angle is called a straight angle because the angle looks like a straight line. If you rotate a line segment a quarter of a turn, you get a 90-degree angle. This angle is called a right angle because the angle stands upright. In this special case, we no longer mark the angle with an arc, but instead we draw a tiny square. This is because squares have 4 right angles.
And it's the only one that does that.
When you draw 2 line segments to make an angle, the point where they meet is called the vertex. If you don't know the size of the angle, then it's common to use the Greek letter theta to represent the size of the angle. You may see other letters used for angles, but theta is the most common.
Okay. So, you may see that in your work. You may see theta. Oh, you want to see the spelling of it? That's fine. Hold on a second. Let me get rid of this.
So what is theta?
Theta is simply a Greek letter that's used to describe an angle. Hold on a minute. If you have this thing that goes this is telling you, if you have this line, that it's going all the way around. So a full revolution. Whoops.
Word went away.
Yeah, the whole thing went away.